Welcome to From Angel to Exit, the business podcast focused on the entrepreneurial journey of scaling your business from first round of funding to ultimately exiting. I'm Bruce Eckfeldt. I'm the founder and host of the podcast. So my journey started as an architect, and like many entrepreneurs, I found myself drawn into business and technology, and I ended up founding a technology company back in 2002. We scaled it, put it on the Inc. 500 list 5 years in a row, and exited that business in 2013. Since then, I've been a strategic coach. I work with founders and CEOs on scaling their businesses and preparing for exits, and I want to share some of these stories with you on the podcast. While I've had great experiences and I've had a lot of success, and the companies that I work with and the founders and leaders that I support have had amazing experiences and amazing exits, the fact is that all of them have been through some serious challenges and serious setbacks along the way. And many of these, I feel, could have been avoided if they had just a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more background, a little bit more foresight. And I want to really bring these things to the podcast. I want to share the stories, share the experiences so you can learn, so you can help make sure that your journey is a little less painful, a little less dramatic, and hopefully a little faster and a little bit more successful. And that's what I want this podcast to really be a tool for you about. So the reality is scaling a business is fundamentally different than starting one. And the skills that make you successful in the early days of a business can often become obstacles later in the business. So as you're building systems, developing leadership teams, creating strategic clarity, and creating real sustainable growth, you really need to learn and transform what you do, how you do it, and how you show up as a leader. And on From Angel to Exit, we're going to take a deep dive into these stories. We're going to hear from some real leaders scaling real businesses and talking about the journeys that they've had and the lessons they've learned. I really want to explore the trials and tribulations and really understand the pitfalls and the pratfalls and what we can do not only to have more success, but really embrace the success that we have along the way and the impact that that success is going to bring. So our conversations are going to focus on critical areas of scaling, including business strategies, frameworks, leadership development, team building, creating company culture, fundraising, capital deployment, partnerships, alliances, mergers and acquisitions, exit preparation, and actually managing the exit process itself. So we're bringing together conversations with many successful founders and CEOs. We're also going to bring in senior leadership team members that have been through the growth process. We're going to talk to investors, M&A advisors who have seen deals from the other side, and other thought leaders that have insights and frameworks that really address these key challenges. And these aren't going to be theoretical conversations. Every guest that we have on the program has been through the trenches and has really learned these lessons the hard way sometimes, but have really experienced them and can give practical experience shares and insights on what you can do better and differently in your business. And we want to have more than just conversations. We really want to build a community here. We want to bring people together that have been through the process with people that are going through the process to really help them and be tools for support and insight. When you subscribe to the podcast, that's going to help make sure that you get a continuous stream of the insights and stories that we're sharing. We also have a newsletter. If you subscribe to that, we'll be sharing additional content, transcripts, behind the scenes content, as well as other tools and frameworks that we have used, details on all of those. We're also putting together events and programs specifically designed for CEOs and founders going through this process, creating opportunities for connections, creating opportunities for support, experience share for everyone going through this process. A couple things you can do to stay connected. First, obviously subscribe to the podcast From Angel to Exit on all the major platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you listen to a podcast, you'll find us. You can also sign up for the newsletter at eckfeldt.com/podcast. We'll give you all the recent podcast episodes as well as access to the newsletter. Subscribe there. We'll make sure that you get all of the content we're producing for members of the community. You can also follow the podcast and me on LinkedIn as well as Instagram. We'll have regular insights. We'll post content there. Also, if you know any interesting guests, we're always looking for recommendations, so you can contact us there to do that. You can always email podcast@eckfeldt.com or bruce@eckfeldt.com if you want to reach out. We'd love to get your stories. Would love to get feedback. Would love to get suggestions. So we've already recorded a couple of episodes, so we want to show you a couple snippets from the things that are going to be coming out soon. Some fascinating entrepreneurs, fascinating leaders, really excited for these programs. Here's a little taste of what's coming.
First thing I do when I meet a client is I ask them, what's your exit strategy? Half of them have no concept, no thought behind it. You don't run a race unless you know where the finish line is. That's very important for all business owners.
And if you ask me, Silicon Valley Bank, the reason that they failed is if you look at their board of directors, there was one banker.
Yeah, exactly.
So how is a bank going to have a board of directors that has only one banker that was like marketing, this and that, and sales. Great, but it's a bank. So you need people that understand how to run whatever business that you're running.
What I learned is you run your business, no matter what is going on. Fundraise, M&A, hurricane, your sole purpose is to continue to grow that business. And you can never take your eyes off that goal. If you're not performing according to whatever you put forth as your projections, there's always going to be a downside for you.
The challenge with extreme optimism, and clearly a lot of entrepreneurs have optimism, right? Otherwise they would be entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
The downside with that, the weakness is I don't manage contingency or red flags well. Yes, optimistic, but let's roll a scenario out. Okay, what happens if it doesn't go well? What's your contingency plan? Have someone who plays devil's advocate and can help you think through the contingency of your path not working out is probably the biggest single thing I tell myself.